Hi, it's Andrea from Crafting a Country Life. I have some projects here that I wanted to jump on and share today. I worked on these over the past day or two, just sitting down in the evening and working on them while I was watching some old movies, which I really enjoy doing at night after work. So this was inspired by Melissa over at Moe Creations. Moe Creations is a YouTube channel, and Melissa is also a member of Jill Norwood's Saturday Morning Makes. And she posted a little while back a project that she had done using this stamp that she had gotten at Simon Says Stamps, or Simon Says Stamp. And when I saw the project, I just absolutely fell in love with her creativity and just the ideas that she had behind her pretzels. The die is, let me show you. It's a very simple die. There's the back side. Cuts out, maybe 3.5 inch size, maybe about 3 inches, I guess, pretzel shape. And what Melissa had done was, and hi Melissa, if you happen to be tuning in, she created pretzels and then decorated them similar to this. Hers were slightly different. So I kind of put my own spin on it and tried some other products that I had in my stash to decorate these with. And what I started out doing was I used several different colors of cardstock that I had in my stash. And because they were the 65-pound weight, I cut out 4 of them. I don't know if you'll be able to see here, but I stacked 4 of them together and glued them to give them a very sturdy background. Now, if you have the heavier cardstock, the 130-pound weight or so, 120 pound, you probably wouldn't need to do 4. Maybe only 1 or 2 would be sufficient. But I wasn't sure when I started making these whether or not I would be putting them on the fronts of cards or using them in some other format where I would be attaching them to something else, or whether I wanted to put them as ornaments on a tree. So I thought I better just make them, fairly sturdy. That way they'd be sufficient for whatever purpose I wanted to use them for. Here's another example here. And let me share a little bit more about what I used for these. I'll do some of them one by one. This one here has some sparkle on it. And I used, first of all, this tulip. I don't know if that's coming into focus or not. That's a little bit better. Yeah. The tulip slick paint, and this is called dimensional fabric paint. And this is what I use. This is sort of the chocolate color. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called brown. The name of that color is brown. So I put that on first, after my cardstock pretzels dried thoroughly. I put the slick paint on top, and then I put some sprinklets on here. And let me see if I have the exact one that I used laying here on the table. Oh, this is not the exact one. This is very similar. This is a Buttons Galore and More Sprinklets package, and it has little gingerbread men in it, and some round peppermints and little tiny candy canes. And these are all sort of like a resin clay type of thing. So this one is called Santa's Treats, and this is by Buttons Galore and More. Okay, so I used that. These gingerbread men, I believe I got on AliExpress. So these are slightly different than the ones in the Buttons and Galore package. You can see these are slightly darker and just a tiny bit bigger. Okay, and this other pretzel that I did here, I used the Buttons and Galore mix exclusively. And you can see they're the gingerbread men are just a little bit lighter in color and a tiny bit smaller. So they're similar, but okay, so that. And then after I added the little resin bits, I sprinkled some holographic glitter on top for the salt. And this is what I use. I can't remember where I bought this glitter. It might have been Hobby Lobby. It might have been Michael's or Walmart even, I'm not sure, but I have seen pretty much this exact same type of glitter in many different craft stores. So you could really use whatever you have in your stash, I'm sure. So there's that one. Let's see what else. This one here is done on sort of an almond colored cardstock, and I used, what did I use on this one? I'm pretty sure this was a red Nouveau drop bottle that I used to put the red frosting on for this one. And then I used, let's see, this sprinklet's called Wintry Mix, also from Buttons Galore and More. Oh, my camera doesn't seem to be focusing that well this morning. And this one has some little snowmen in it, and it has snowflakes of, a couple different colors, and some little pink candies, or I guess they're snowflakes actually, right there. So that's the Buttons Galore and More mix there. Okay, and this one, again, the same kind of glitter sprinkled on top, and I used the pink, this is called Neon Plum Tulip Slick Dimensional Fabric Paint for the frosting on that. And I used these little, they look like sprinkles that you would put on cake or confections, but I bought these at Hobby Lobby in the jewelry department. I don't have the tag on top of the bag, obviously, but I'm sure that that's where I purchased these. And you can also get them on other online sources as well. So I used that to put on the top for decoration, and then again, use that basic glitter that you can get pretty much anywhere. I thought that came out really cute with the color, with the pink on top of the brown. And then this one here, I used the slick paint again. This one is simply called White. So I used that on top of the pretzel, a little bit hard to see. And I layered it with the brown to give it sort of a chocolate and vanilla look. And then I sprinkled on some of these little resin, I don't know if they're resin or clay, but clay bits that I picked up at Michael's. This one is called Pastel Hearts. So I selected out the colors that I wanted and put those on top. This one is just a little bit of the slick paint again, and then I left it plain and sprinkled it again with the glitter. This was a little bit simpler. Okay, and then this one here, I actually used Nouveau drops for this one. And I think Melissa had mentioned in her video that she used Nouveau drops to put frosting on her pretzels. So this one is a little more transparent. This one is called Glitter Drops. This one here, so it's a little bit less opaque. And then I used these Buttons Galore and More doodads. This one is called Caribbean Sea. And I used a tweezer and I placed the little bits right on top of the wet Nouveau drops and sprinkled it again with the glitter. I think that's about it. I have, just to show you that the fabric paint, I really do like it. It's somewhat dimensional, but it's not as thick as the puffy paint. It gives it a little bit more of a sheen, which I really liked, and looks more like icing versus frosting. So I think with the puffy paints, you get a little bit more thickness. I do have some here as well. And it looks very similar. The puffy paint does look quite similar to slick, but just maybe a tad thicker when it goes on. So that's what I used on that one. So these were just so much fun to put together, and I'd like to give Melissa a shout out for posting her original ideas on here. Just so much fun. I did make one last experimental one here. This one, I used some of the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide to distress the edges a little bit, and then I spread the glossy accents on top of it. And then I sprinkled just a dusting of the 100% German glass glitter. In this container, I don't have the specific brand. This was gifted to me from my sister, Annette, over at Nettie H Creates. She sent this to me, so I'm not sure what brand it is, but there are many, many online sources to get genuine glass glitter. So I thought the effect of that was really nice, and it wasn't holographic. It's more of just a clear sparkle and extremely shiny, which I just love. So a lot of fun creating these pretzels, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video and that we'll see you again soon in the future. Take care. Bye for now.